And welcome everyone to the MyMac.com podcast. Are you impressed? Did you find last Wednesday's, he said with gritted teeth, event fascinating? And were you delighted with all of the choices that Apple has brought to us? Well, now it's come and gone, and quite frankly, there wasn't really much in the way of surprises. i14, new watches, new iPod Pros, and we will go over everything that was there and maybe even some stuff that wasn't there that we wish had been there. And this show actually is going to be different because we're not going to do a break. We're just going to go right from point to point to point to point to point. No break in the middle. It's just going to be all G-men. You lucky, lucky people. And very quickly, condolences to all those affected by the death of Queen Elizabeth II, who was a wonderful lady in every sense of the word, who served and represented her country in a positive way for over 70 years. God bless you, Mum. And I won't try to do another British accent for a long time. In respect to the Queen. Okay, so we have, of course, I'm not here alone. I'm also here. Oh, come on. Get out of solo. There. Jeez. StreamYard, stop fighting me. It's not this hard. It shouldn't be this hard. Ah! How are you, Gaz?
Well, obviously I'm in mourning. Well,
yes,
sort of in mourning, but yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I had quite a busy week. Other than when, obviously, I heard from you, interestingly enough, you were the first bit of news that I actually picked up on that she had passed away. Obviously, we were pretty close to thinking there was something quite wrong because the
earlier in the day, the stuff that came out.
Yeah. So we weren't sure, but I actually saw it when you posted it. So and I'm just going to say this actually. Can you imagine as a 21-year-old these days saying you are going to dedicate the rest of your life to doing something which you've got no idea just how much it's going to take over your life, and
not much choice either,
and not much choice, and dedicate to it, and I just incredible, absolutely incredible person.
Yep. And you know what? To even add a little more to that, for people who don't know, she was crowned in what, 1952. Was it?
52, 53, I think.
Okay.
It might have been, yeah.
10, 12 years earlier as princess, she was serving people in the UK affected, like out on the streets, not sitting somewhere protected.
Yeah, that was one thing. King George actually wanted the family to stay at Buckingham Palace, to stay with, the rest of the country, with the Londoners who were getting bombed. So he actually stayed, and the girls, I think they there's lots of stories about her and Margaret going out and dressing up as ordinary people, as it were.
But everybody knew who they were.
Well, you say that. There's a very good. It's quite a funny story actually, and
they would have seen him on Twitter.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. There is an interesting story about a policeman that was out on the rounds with Her Majesty, so he was her personal bodyguard. We don't really use those terms over here. But they were out on the Scottish Highlands somewhere, obviously up in Balmoral, and an American couple met them. And the story is, I've got to tell you now, the story is that they met this American couple, and they said, are you from around these parts? And she said, yes, I've been coming here since I was a child, And he went, oh, that's, and it was over X number of years at that point, whatever it was. And they obviously didn't recognise her, which, that's fair enough. I get that.
Yeah.
But she had got a very dry sense of humour, and he said, oh, well, have you ever met the Queen? Because if you've been coming here that long. And
intimately.
And she said, I haven't, but he has. This guy has. And they oh wow, and they started talking to the policeman, and he apparently he said to them, yes, she can be quite a cantankerous old but she's got a really good dry sense of humour, and apparently they asked the Queen to take a picture of them with the policeman. and apparently they also had a picture taken with her as well, obviously not to, but she said to the policeman afterwards, once they'd gone and were out of earshot, she said, I do hope that they get some people who recognise me, just so that they realise what they've missed out back in the States. So,
can you take a picture of me with this guy who's met the Queen? Because, you're not so impressive, but he is.
Yeah. So, God bless her. God bless her. That's all I can say.
Her kind shall not come around again.
No, not for,
What a wonderful woman.
One in a million. Royalist or not, Can you imagine, I've seen a few people actually moaning about some of the things that are happening over here at the moment. And I'm thinking, if we'd been in a country and we'd had a president/dictator for 70 years and they died, can you imagine the sorts of things we'd be going through now and the sorts of activities that would be happening? Yeah. Just think on, people, when you complain about things. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, before we get off of that, there was one thing I saw that I had forgotten about the Queen. And tomorrow, of course, is the anniversary of 9/11. And on the day that happened, because every single day the Royal Guard comes out and they play, was it God Save the Queen?
Yep. Well, no, not anymore.
Okay, well, yeah. Now it's God Save the King. Right. Which I might add is okay, I'm not even going to go there. No. Stop right there. And that is a tradition that goes back hundreds of years. Mm-hmm. But on 9/11, by the Queen's command, instead, they played the Star Spangled Banner, which, considering that song was written at the height of the English bombing Baltimore, it's kind of like, okay, well, I'm going to play Star Spangled Banner. All right, well, we appreciate it, and thanks for the history lesson there.
She had a lot of worldly knowledge, which I think is going to be very difficult to match. I actually listened to the Canadian Prime Minister and his dedication. I thought that was really quite a moving one. So Anyway, let's move on, because this is not a royal love-in.
No,
show,
but it's kind of,
it is respectful. It is.
It is.